and he said he might be a little late. He's having a problem at one of the properties he wants to look at. So I'll let him explain that when he's able to join us here in a little bit. But glad to see all the people showed up. And I know that last week I heard you guys had a in-person meeting at the general meeting. I heard it went very well, and it was very good, well attended. So that's good to hear.
Yes, sir. And there's a ton of new names in here. So just before you hopped in, I was going to start having people introduce themselves and start thinking about the haves, wants, needs section. So if you want to kick that off.
Yeah, no, thanks, Andy. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late. Thanks everybody for joining. This is the FFREIA, Freedom First Real Estate Investor Association Alternatives meeting. And we talk about how to make money in real estate with ways other than tenants and toilets. And let's see, anything, quick disclaimer, anything we say, we don't offer legal advice, we don't offer tax advice. Anything we say on here is just our input and our information. You should really check with an attorney or an accountant or a competent tax preparer or financial advisor. Everybody's case is a little bit different. Everybody's situation is a little bit different. So your situation might be different than mine. So something I say, don't take it to heart, double check with somebody else. But glad to see everybody who's here. And what we do first is we go around the room. We have new people introduce themselves. And what we'd like to find out is your name, where you're at investing in real estate, and what brought you to the FFREIA meeting tonight. So anybody who's new, go ahead. I see a couple new names, but I'll let you guys go ahead and choose who wants to go first.
So let me sort of interject here if I can. Andy, I'd like to say a couple of words before we get started. I don't know how many people are going to be on. We're like 22 people now, so people may leave, but I just wanted to mention a couple of items. I don't know exactly what your thoughts were around agenda and how you're going to go through things tonight. So basically, just wanted to point out a couple of things. One, and I think it was mentioned before, we just had last month the picnic, and Scott Spear, even though he was just luckily here, was able to be there, and about heading towards 90 people showed up, which we thought was a great turnout. A lot of good things happening from the standpoint of people talking to each other and looking at some of the things that they can do from the standpoint of doing deals and meeting people that they didn't know. So that was great. We actually had couple of people basically from the city of Rochester. And as I pointed out in my discussion right before, we sort of formally kicked things off. We're changing the sort of tenor, for sake of a better word, of the picnic, and we're going to be inviting as we go forward folks who are of a political nature, for sake of better words, that need to, and the thought process is very simple. You know, we want to have people understand that as real estate investors, people who provide housing for tenants, that we are individuals and humans just like everybody else. And they may have watched a couple of movies and think that, you know, we're all rich and got a whole bunch of money and can afford to be around in these days and time when some of us haven't received rent for going on 2 years now. So it really is to change the sort of the spectrum, the view, the understanding of what folks, particularly in the city of Rochester and outside of the city and in Monroe County, have in the way of understanding of landlords and what it is they're trying to do, and the fact they're not the richest people in the world, and understand our plight, our discomfort, our suffering, for sake of better words, around the things that have happened over the last couple of years. And when you look at where things stand right now, it's very important that we take an approach that allows us to be many times more visible, particularly for the people who are in politics and in control of what are the bills and what are going to be some of the guidelines that we have to follow to be successful. And I won't mention the word, straightforward. We want to be able to be a sounding block that counters a lot of the things coming from the tenant unions. And so that means that I'll take an opportunity to have one of you get a chance to shake hands with like a person like Jose Payo, who is a member of the city council who was at the meeting. I shouldn't say meeting, at the picnic this time. And my objective will be to get as many of those folks there as I can. I invited other folks, but they were not able to be there. So I'm taking up this time now because I think it is of great importance. I do recognize that we're not in a meeting where it's landlords who are housing providers who are providing housing for individuals necessarily. It's an alternative meeting, but I'm sort of pulling rank, so to speak, and making sure that every opportunity I get a chance to say to people, the landscape is changing. It's not changing in the right way. We need to get out the bulldozers and change things so that people have a better understanding of who we are and what we are. And so that's going to be the flavor for the picnic. That was the flavor to somewhat at the last one. Great turnout, great showing, and would love to see everybody there. It's tough in these times to get up to the 140 people that we've had sometime in the past, but clearly that's our objective. The other item that I wanted to touch base upon was the fact that we have the October general meeting coming up, and that speaker is going to be Chris Sardone. And Chris is, as you know, as many of you know, I should say, is the person who a lot of the members use, and certainly Freedom First uses as their certified public accountant. So he's going to be talking about pretty much any subject that you want. And you can have him talk about your subject if you just send an email to Susan Holman saying, okay, I have this question for Chris, and I want him to answer it during the 1 hour plus session when he's going to be talking at the October general meeting. One of the things that I asked him to talk about is what is the impact that the pandemic has on housing providers, and because of all the things that have transpired over the last year, what can they write off? What can't they write off? Those sorts of things. So that covers, I could go on and on, but I won't do that. That covers the primary things that I wanted to talk about. And one of the most important things is thank you for everyone for being here on the call. And we look forward to seeing you in the future and at some of our meetings that we're trying to get to be in person. Clearly, if you look at the individuals, it's almost a 50-50 break between the people who want to be on Zoom and the people who want to be in person. Our objective right now that we're trying to do is we're trying to provide both. It has become quite a technical issue to be able to do that. Andy McQuaid has been working on that quite a bit to try to pull the things together so that if you're on a Zoom call, you can understand what's happening in the meeting, and the same is true particularly in the other direction. So a lot of times the in-person people that are there don't have a clue as to what the Zoom people are asking for or talking about or what their thoughts are. So that's where things stand. Anyone have any questions? I'll try to address those now. Okay.
Leon, let me chime in here. By the way, the folks that are new here, Leon is our fearless leader, our FFREIA president, right? Just so you know who this guy is. Now,
Yeah, I
Those,
didn't introduce myself first. You're correct with that.
yeah,
Thank you.
that was not at the last general meeting in person at the restaurant there. Missed an incredible presentation, Bob Taylor. And, it was just awesome. And if you want to learn and see how it can be done, where you start zero, go into investing, transition from employment to full-time investing and be successful at it. That was the presentation, and it was awesome. So Leon and Andy, I got to ask you, that presentation was recorded, and as a member, you get to see that. Is that right?
That's
Once
correct.
it's done, yeah.
Yeah. And we're in the process of getting that done now, that being the video and getting it edited. And you're correct with your comments because of the fact that, I get going and I say, okay, and I don't think about what I haven't talked about, and clearly one of the most important thing was the general meeting that we just had. It was awesome. And just sorry that enough people didn't know that it was in person and enough people didn't have the ability to look at it as a Zoom session. But we tried to rectify that by having the item actually, the session actually videoed. And what we'll do is for anyone who's a member that's going to be on the other side of the paywall. In other words, if you're not a member, you can't see it. If you're a member, you can, and be able to to actually hear the whole session and repeat it if you want to again and again. And it was absolutely awesome. And as you know, because you were there, I mentioned that it was going to be awesome before it even started. And that's because I had an opportunity to look at the slides and all the things that he was going to be presenting. And I thought it was just great, just super. And it's one of those things, and you pointed to it already, Carl. You have an individual that started off basically at ground zero, and they didn't hit a home run. They hit a grand slam, okay? And they are basically living their life and doing the things they want to do because of the fact that they started investing in real estate. And the most important part of it is they did that largely because of Freedom First.
Yeah, he did mention that, and it's true. He was an embryo. I remember him back 10 years ago, and he knocked it out of the park. I mean, that presentation, he could take that on a road show. Oh my God, and be very effective. Great to have him on board. Awesome story that collaborates the FFREIA organization and a success story in tandem.
So one of the things that I've talked him into doing, and we'll see if we're able to pull it off, and that is to actually do like a 3-hour workshop.
Oh yeah.
That would be
Okay.
great. Looks like Joe is here. So now we have Joe and Scott both ready to go.
And that's why I need to
Sorry,
give this
guys.
mic back over to these guys. Take it away.
I apologize for being late. I out there. I'm just piggybacking here right now, so I don't know where you guys.
You're fine. We haven't even done intro. We started. We were gonna do the intro and have wants, and because there's a ton of new people on, and we didn't get to that. We did announcements and talked about the prior meetings and stuff ahead of time. So we're stepping in. This is the very beginning of the meeting. You and Scott can take it and run with it. Scott has good internet connection tonight too.
Yeah.
I'll let Scott continue.
Yeah, okay. All right. Joe, you want to explain to everybody where you were or no?
I was looking at a very large building and there were squatters, which should have taken 45 minutes, ended up taking about 2 hours. And they called the police and I had to make sure nobody was going to get hurt. So that's the interesting part of real estate. So
They had
here I am.
squatters there. Okay. How many squatters were there, do you think?
There was probably like, I don't know, anywhere between 5 to 7. It was a 20, it was like 20, it's a big big building that was owned by a church. So I said, I'll get there plenty of time.
Mhm.
I'll never say that again.
All right.
So I apologize. So go ahead, Scott. It's all yours.
All right, yeah, I gave the little disclaimer, Joe, already. Check with your attorney, your tax advisor, your financial advisor. Everybody's situation's different. We offer just advice. We don't offer any legal advice or tax advice or anything like that. And what we're gonna do, Leon talked a little bit about the group and the picnic and the benefits of being a member and all that. That was great. And then they also talked about the general meeting that you had. And what was his name again, Carl?
Joe Taylor?
Is it Joe Taylor? Or Bill? Joe Taylor.
That was
Okay.
Bob.
Oh, I'm
Bob
sorry.
Taylor.
It's Bob
Bob
Taylor.
Taylor.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right,
Taylor.
Bob Taylor. Yeah, for everybody who missed it, I heard about it. At 56 years old, he got started investing in real estate. And at 66 years old, he has what, Joe, 105 rental units?
105 units. I was fascinated by that, starting at 56.
And they're all in Canandaigua.
Yep.
That's an impressive.
Unreal.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was really great.
there you go.
So,
So,
by the way, do you guys do have and wants yet?
no, we didn't even let new people introduce themselves yet.
Oh,
So
take it away. Do what you got to do.
let's do that. Who's new on here? I see some new names. I don't want to call you out. If I have to, I will. And you might be somebody that has been on before. Or maybe I just don't recognize the name, but who's new and wants to introduce yourself? Who you are, where you're located, what you'd like to do in real estate, and what brought you to the meeting tonight or brought you to the FFREIA group. So go ahead. Who'd like to go first?
Always easier to
Oh,
volunteer.
I got it.
I'll go.
Hello.
Okay.
My name's Mike
Oh, there we
DeSalvo.
go.
I'm in Batavia. And I've been going with Billy Betson, a guy who studied under Than Merrill, I think, 10 years ago or 8 years ago. He's out of, we have the 941 Investment Club. And he gave us a formula. They're doing a computer generated leads program that I'm not involved with because they're all down in the 941 area code, Sarasota, Bradenton, Fort Myers area. So I learned from him, and I've been in Batavia now since November. We started our classes. And I've been in Genesee County, and I've found some for sale by owners. I've made about, I'll say 15 offers. I've made appointments to at least 15, if not 20 homes. Didn't always fit the bill. And I have an investor from Western New York Home Buyers Association. Last name there.
Oop, Mike, we lost you. You broke up quite a bit. Last thing I heard was Western New York home buyers, and then you went dead.
Okay, let me see. Okay, let me try again. Is this better?
So far, you still got really weak signal. It's showing you with red bars. So give it a whirl again. Last thing we heard was
Okay.
Western New York home buyers.
As I have one investor from that group. I find these for sale by owners. I have friends who are sending me addresses and photos of the for sale by owner signs. So I can find the properties, and I'm looking for investors who, after I make, and now my offers I've had one balked at and then accepted 2 days later. The formula I use is get the ARV, take 60% off and a few thousand for our fee, and then hopefully that covers any rehabbing that needs to be done if need be. Am I clear talking now?
Yes.
Okay, so I was just in Buffalo someone had rented a home for the last 8 years. The people trashed it to the point that they broke solid marble kitchen tiles, broke them up, and they're like spider webbed and torn off the floor, and but a beautiful house. The ARV was 280 in Depew, Lancaster suburbs. So, and I have friends in Rochester area as well who would find and talk to people who are looking to get out of their house. That was when those people just wanted to get out of. Again, the ARV was 280, our offer was 150, and it needed it, I would guess 60 to 80,000 to bring it up, to update the place. So I'm learning, I'm new, but I'm in Batavia, I'm in the rural area here, and I keep ending up with people finding places in Buffalo, and I'm hoping to expand into Rochester. If anyone's interested, this is my free meeting with y'all, and so far I'm impressed. You have quite a group here and quite a number.
Well,
Oh,
glad to
welcome.
have you.
Welcome, Michael. We have pretty close to 200 different entities that are members, so it could be 250 members total between companies and vendors and all that kind of stuff. But you're in the right meeting. This is where the hard money lenders go. This is where all of the wholesalers go. The hosts of this particular meeting, Joe is a full-time wholesaler and does some owning of multiple rental units and is expanding into industrial and all sorts of insanity. Scott's a hard money lender who also gets into all of these self-storage. He got out of doing residential and went into self-storage. So you're in the meeting where everything except for property management happens and is discussed. So you're in the right spot.
All right, I got my video showing that. I got my video on finally. That my internet was coming as unstable, so I think I've got that corrected.
Okay.
So good. And I appreciate y'all having us for a free meeting, and
Welcome.
thank you, Joe.
We're glad you're
Are
here.
you Joe the buyer? Is that you, Joe?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, your ads are everywhere, man. And there's another,
Like that.
yep, there's a girl on there too. That's everywhere. And the Western New York guys I think are from Erie County, right? The guys I'm dealing with currently. So if there's someone that I could come up with, I just got an address from the mailman in Oakfield. You know where Oakfield is? So I have all these people out there. I told them I would split my profits with if they use their eyeballs and take me a picture of that sign and the address in the front of the house, and then I'll take it from there. And
Bird dogs.
what's that?
Call them bird dogs.
There
House
you go.
hunters.
What? Sorry, Joe.
House hunters, bird doggers. It's like
Right.
Andy said.
Driving for dollars, they call it in Florida.
Yeah.
But I can't afford to do that, so I've got all these eyes in the street, and they're feeding me, and I'm getting a pretty good flow, and they're getting excited to turn one.
Good.
So
So
I have to
Michael, overall, you're saying that you're finding bargains in Batavia.
in Genesee County, and I have friends in Erie County who's an Uber driver. I have 3 nephews that are sheriffs in Monroe County, which is why I want to come there for vacant properties, right? Things like that.
Mhm.
Okay, Carl, you're getting antsy now. I must be talking the good stuff here, huh?
No, yeah, you're hitting all
So-
engines, man. You're doing what we were doing, and you're going to succeed keeping what you're doing. Great job, Mike.
Thanks, Carl. I've only been at this since November, but again, we're making offers. I'm making appointments. We're going and taking pictures. And you all let me know who to talk to when I have a hot one in the Monroe County area. I guess I have to join before we can talk turkey.
Just, I mean, look, it's a great organization to get connected with. This organization does so many properties that the public never even finds out about. It's,
Right.
it'll jumpstart your, unless you like working hard, you're
No,
gonna
sir,
want
no.
to get connected.
As a matter of fact, I'm about to retire. I just went disabled with these hip surgeries, but I can still get around, and I'm driving and I'm going, and I even play a little sympathy there with the people when I walk up with my walker if I have to, or my cane, and
Well,
they're okay with it. I get up and down stairs all right and all. So
Joe, that's a
in order to-
negotiation. That's a negotiating tool right there, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's,
Well,
and it's
we
working.
appreciate,
now and
you
then.
being on, Michael. That's fantastic. You know, and so, and by the way, who else is new on here too, by the way? Don't be afraid to speak here. I know Scott's going to call you out.
Good evening. My name is Celeste Barkley.
Nice to meet
Or
you.
can everyone hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
we can.
Wonderful. I'm so happy to be here. I am a newbie investor, newbie in a way that is truly newbie, not in the way that Michael described. Mike, it sounds like you're off to a great start. I'm looking to make connections, network, really looking forward to joining to have access to that presentation that you guys provided such glowing remarks about. And
Great.
yeah, I'm just moving about parenting right now. So I'm not showing my camera, but I hope to be more present in future meetings.
Perfect. Welcome, Celeste. Glad to have you.
Yep, glad you're here.
All right, Scott, who are you going to call out? This is
Well,
live and interactive.
Okay, I don't know if he's new or not. Zach, are you new to the group or you been here a couple times?
I am new. I've actually been in the group for a while, but this is the first actual meeting I joined because I just graduated recently from college. So I've known I wanted to get into real estate for a while. I'm just trying to figure out like what's the right way to start and like try to make connections and learn as much as I can right now. So yep, I'm right outside of Rochester in Greece. Yeah, just trying to figure out how to get things going with that.
And you just graduated college?
Yeah, I know I gotta save up some money now. That's the goal. I just want to see if I could learn some things.
Fantastic. Holy smokes.
Yeah, welcome to the group.
Yeah.
You're at the right place at the right time. You know, just graduating from school and wanting to get into investing in real estate's good thing. So you got a long road ahead of you, and it's the best way I know to build some wealth, long-term wealth for you.
Yes,
So,
sir.
glad you're here. And all you new people too, we have a Q&A time too. We expect you guys to ask questions. Don't hesitate to ask questions, but we're going to keep doing intros. All right. Benny Howard, are you new to the group or you been here for a while?
Just get the camera booted up. Yeah,
Right.
so I'm Benny. This is when I say, I guess you'd say I'm very new to the group, as in I actually saw this meeting like today. I didn't know the existence of the group, but I actually ended up seeing it on Meetup, and like literally that day, I said, oh, all right, I keep trying to, so I would like to actually get into real estate at some point. And I thought of doing that and, haven't gotten started yet. And when I say new, I was like, I've never even looked at a mortgage application ever. So like right now I'm, really just renting. So I'm looking to really just at first learn about how it all works before actually, really committing to moving forward with it. So it'd be great. So I figured one of the things you could do is just like, hey, might as well just network with people and see, bounce ideas off of, more seasoned individuals, or also connect with other people who are also learning. So we could also teach each other, right?
Yeah.
Kind of that thing. So.
Fantastic.
I'm looking for.
Well, to help Benny, does anybody have a recommendation of one of those books that we all steer towards as to help us out, like Rich Man, Poor Dad, Poor Man kind of thing? Anybody have a recommendation for Benny?
I would say Rich Dad Poor Dad's definitely a book for anybody new. If you've never read that book, I think everybody here should have read that book or should read that book. It's a really good book, in my opinion. Kind of gives you a different way to think about things. Some things that you'll never learn in school, you'll learn in that book. That's for sure. There's also a website. It's called biggerpockets.com. Tons of free information on that website too. Good place to go learn and meet with people and network. And it's a really good website. to use.
Let me just interject just a little bit on that comment. One of the things we did earlier in the year was to have our initial general meeting on a Zoom call was associated with basically investing with little or no money. So one of the books that I would suggest is a book that I'm actually reading. And from that particular session, I said, gee, Leon, you know a lot about what it is you need to do to invest with, you know, basically in real estate with little or no money as a down payment. So the book is this one right here. Let me see if I can get it all on the screen. But it's a Bigger Pockets book. And one of the most informative people around real estate investing is a guy by the name of Brandon Turner. So this is a book that he wrote, and it's fairly current. I think it was actually published in 2020. Okay, or maybe 2020 to 2019. And basically it takes into account a lot of the things that a person like myself may not consider, because when I was looking at investing with nothing down, you know, I was reading books that was written many years ago, and they were right on mark. But today, like most things in life, real estate changes, techniques changes, how you do things changes. And those changes I find are really relevant in this particular book. You can go right to Bigger Pockets and you can buy it. And I'm not completely done with it, but I can tell you right now, it's a great read. Back to you, Mr. Spear.
All right, let's see. Did you get that, Michael?
I think that was Benny.
Oh, you did?
Thank you, yes.
Oh,
sir.
I'm sorry, that was Benny. Yeah, Benny, did you get that?
Yep.
All right, cool. All righty, and let's see. I don't think he's new, but he might be. Tom Piazzo or Pizzo?
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Yeah, I was on the previous one. I think it was a couple weeks ago. So I am originally, I'm born and raised in Greece, New York. I think the other gentleman on here, he was in Greece. So I'm right in your neck of the woods. If you want to, you know, link up and have a coffee or something and talk, that would be awesome. I'm a full-time, so I'm actually a mortgage processor. So whoever said that they've never seen a mortgage application, I could probably help you out because I see them all day, every day. So I close quite a bit of, you know, in terms of volume every month. I close a bunch of loans on refinances, cash outs, regulars, whatever. So I'm a pretty good resource when it comes to that type of stuff. I'm looking to, you know, do my own thing. I've been working for a company for a long time, and I just want to, you know, I want to branch out and do my own thing and control my own destiny. That's my biggest goal. And, you know, that's kind of the reason why I wanted to get into real estate. And then the wholesaling thing came about, you know, Max Maxwell and some of these people that are personalities that are on YouTube. And, you know, I want to kind of ground myself and get connected with people that are actually doing it in my area, not just listen to people on YouTube and things like that. So I found you guys, and just really happy to be a part of the group and look forward to networking.
So Tom, one of the things that, so are you a Freedom First member at this point? You're just starting, right?
Yep, I haven't signed up yet, but I definitely plan on doing that.
Yeah. So you indicated that you wanted to know about people who would take maybe a few minutes to have a coffee with you or something along those lines. So as Carl indicated in the very beginning, I'm the president of Freedom First. I've been doing real estate investing like most of these guys for quite a while. So you can give me your contact information. I'll set up a time to talk to you for like an hour or so and find out where you are trying to get to and give you a fair amount of information on what are the right steps to take.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, so you got it. You need to get me your contact information. I don't know who you are and where and you know the details of contacting you, but you just put it in the chat or whatever. Now I'll get it from there, and then I'll set up a time to talk to you. You can email me through the website.
That works. Thank you. I'll do that.
All right, cool. Thanks, Tom. Let's see. Beverly Pringle, are you new or you've been with us for a little bit?
I wouldn't say a little bit, it's been a while.
Okay.
But I am trying to get things in place so that I can rejoin you and try to participate. I've kept my membership current, dealing with family issues. Been on the phone just now with my mother who's in the hospital. And hopefully I can do this without too many different things happening. I want to say thank you to Earl, who gave me great conversation a couple of weeks ago, to Joe and to Leon, who are trying to keep me positive and haven't given up on me yet. So we'll do what we have to, and I will hopefully get to meet some of you others later. So that's pretty much me.
Great. Welcome, Beverly.
Mhm.
Oh, Scott, we can't hear you.
Yep. John, are you new? John Helsch, I think it is.
No, Scott, I've been here for quite a while. I just haven't made a meeting in a couple of months, I guess.
Okay. All right. That's why the name doesn't ring a bell. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're having in-person meetings, I wouldn't be there, but if you're having in-person meetings, I probably recognize your face. So, all
Yeah.
right. Good.
Great.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for doing the intros. New people, welcome. We're very glad you're here. You're the ones who kind of keep us going. We all were new at one time, so don't hesitate to ask questions when that time comes. You know, we all learn from each other, and that's the thing you'll find with this group that Leon and Joe and Susan have created is just a very giving group of information, helping each other, and you know, rising tide rises all ships. That's the way we feel. So as we all go and grow, we all succeed. So we're glad you guys are here. At this point in our presentation, we do have needs, wants. If you're looking for a certain property or have something you want to sell or looking for a certain contractor, that's when we throw it out there now. I'll start. Two things. I'm looking for self-storage. I own some self-storage facilities. I'm looking for some more. You know, we pay big bird dog fees. It's not unusual for us to pay $20,000, $30,000 in wholesale fees, bird dog fees to people who find the right property for us. We have paid more in some instances, I will say. Or, you know, we'll bring in as an equity partner. We've done that too. Looking for self-storage. I'm going to say along the East Coast right now. I'm going to stick with that. And down into Alabama and Mississippi, Arkansas, those type areas too. And let's see, I have a friend who's selling a duplex in Brockport. It's right near the college. It's 3 bedrooms on one side, could be a 4-bedroom, and 2 bedrooms on the other side. It could be a 3-bedroom. The 3-bedroom side is totally rehab. It's ready for move-in for somebody who wants to own or occupy, you know, live in one side and have the other side pay your mortgage payments. The 2-bedroom side is updated. The tenant who's in there has been a great tenant for years, and she pays $600 a month, which is pretty reasonable in Brockport. Yeah, you probably could raise the rents a little bit, but and he's asking, let's see, $185 for that property, and it has a big barn with it, has a big garage with it too, newer roof, and electric's been updated too. So it's a good solid house in Brockport if you're looking for a duplex. Actually, Colleen Baracci, who's a vendor member of this group, she has it listed, but if you want more information, you can either reach out to me or you can put your information in the chat box and I'll send you the info on it. So that's all I have. Who else is looking for something or has something?
God, this is Earl. I'll go next. All right, I actually have a buyer looking for a duplex. So if you run across any more duplexes, anyone in the group, let me know. And maybe make something happen. So I am looking for something. Normally I have my wholesaling hat on, but me and my wife ran across a property that just seemed too good to be true. And if anyone has any knowledge of this property on English Road, it's 1270 English Road.
Is it a single family vacant?
It is. It
Is it the
is.
one it's completely down to the studs?
It is.
The lady owns it, lives in New York City.
Yeah. What can you tell me about this?
All right. Well,
Or what can't you tell me?
all right, we're gonna discuss this after we do the haves and wants.
He's in
Okay.
the process of buying it, probably is what he's gonna tell you.
No, I know this. I looked at this property twice. I looked at it a year ago. I can tell you the whole situation with the property, and I feel really bad for the owner.
Wow.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll come
And I
back
have a
around to
question.
that one then. Cool.
Sounds good. Yeah. Sounds
Earl,
good.
Earl, I was just gonna ask Earl if that duplex he was looking for was for owner occ or if it was for renting both sides.
So I have a buyer who's just trying to increase their portfolio.
Okay. Well, what areas? Because I've got one I was gonna tell everybody about, but I mean, I got one. I got one in the South Wedge.
Monroe County, in Monroe County.
All right. Well, I'll tell you about it. I'll tell everybody about it when I'll let everybody else speak first.
Okay. See, and for everybody who's new in this group, this is why you want to attend every meeting, because there's deals that happen right here. I'm gonna say last year, there probably was $4 million of property transfer just within this group, within the FFREIA group, that never even hit the open market. So something to think about. So, all right.
Well-
Who else have needs, wants?
Well, let me give you a story about haves and wants, right? So a couple years ago, I expressed a want, and out of the blue, 2 years later, Brother Joe calls me up. I remember your want. Oh my God! And yeah, you're laughing, and that deal came together. This is what it's all about. I mean, the haves and wants. It's not about now. I mean, this guy's got a magnetic memory that he knows what you want, and it happened with me. And this was something that began about 2 years ago or so to now. And Joe, thank you very much. That's on the contract. We're all good to go.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Man. So who else has something that they want or want to sell? Someone's got to have a Christmas list. Christmas is only about 15 Saturdays away. Might as well
Hey,
tell us
everybody.
now.
Michelle here. My halves are storage facilities, as a lot of people. So looking to acquire one, looking to get involved perhaps in the lending side of one. Partnering is something that we're interested in. We also do private lending, short-term, hard money. So opportunities available there as well. And
I
that's
see.
it.
I see a Scott Michelle connection here, real quick.
I was thinking the same things, Carl.
Okay, I'll admit I was privately chatting with her. So.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right, we made a partnership tonight, right there. Done.
Uh-huh.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Anybody else?
Who else?
God, can I jump in here real quick?
You sure can. Go, Gabe.
Thank you, guys. Well, there's two things I'm looking for. Well, the first thing is, well, everyone and their brother wants a storage right now. And I'm looking for anything in the East Coast as well. Maybe the Southeast area. Anyone knows that wants to offload it? I'm the guy. Just talk to me, call me, forget about everybody else and just call me. Scott, I'm going to call you tomorrow because I got some things going on. That's why I haven't called you in a while. So just so you know, I'll call you tomorrow. And the other thing I want, guys, I'd like to know is I I haven't been in this thing in a while on FFREIA, but now that I'm free and clear of any other work or what have you for my restaurant, I need to build relationships. And as far as networking is concerned, like Tom Pizzle said, I mean, if you want me to put my contact information or whatever, anyone on this group, I'll buy you a cup of coffee, a beer, whatever. I don't care. I just want to talk to someone for an hour and just to see what's going on with everyone and what's going on with me. And you never know. But the cool things, I can talk to you guys, and I want to be in this group of circle of friends and keep each other accountable and all the good stuff that goes along with this group. And I just want to get out there and just work really hard and get the network thing going for me, because that's what I need right now. Because I mean, you know, I got other groups and stuff like that, but they're all across the United States and whatever. But it's cool when you have local guys, and you know, I can call them and like, hey, what are you doing today at 1 o'clock? You know, like meet me at Starbucks, whatever. You know, it's right there. So I'm gonna put my phone number on the chat thing. Anyone wants to text me or call me, let's set it up. I'm all in. So I'm gonna do it right now.
Pick up the phone too, Gabe. Don't be afraid.
Yeah. Okay. I will.
All right. Anybody else? All right. Well, I've got a couple things. If anyone's interested, I've got a 2-family in the South Wedge, occupied, making 19 and change per month, up and running. It's probably worth between 250 and 275 on the high end. It's a 3 and a 2. That one is going to go for I think somewhere right around 190. Give it right around 190. I have another house, which is it's a 3-bedroom right over by RIT. It's vacant right now. It's got a partial newer roof. It's got 3-tab shingle, which is in great shape, vinyl windows, vinyl siding, no garage, plenty of parking. It's literally 2 or 3 minutes away from RIT. It's up and it's going to be pretty much almost rent ready. Huge backyard. It's got a little deck off the back. It's on septic, which is only 2 years old. Okay. But the whole thing, leach field, everything is all set, ready to go. That one is going for $85,000. It was rented for like $1,100 or $1,200 a month. Should be able to get more. It's on a slab, no basement. Okay. I also have another house in the city, which was a firehouse. ARV is about $150,000. Someone's going to put probably around 50,000 into the property, give or take. And we're asking 50 for that one. And I know I'm forgetting something, and I apologize because I ran so late. I was supposed to write all this stuff down, so I'm just doing this from memory here right now. If I think of anything else, I put my number in the chat. So if you're interested, give me a call. I'll give you more details. These are all straight cash deals, by the way. I don't want to hear the word bank. It's like swearing at me. So, you know, because we close fast, there's a lot of meat left on the bone and these things. And by the way, the one over by RIT, we're asking 85. ARV is about $130,000. Okay. And they put in paint, flooring. One thing I don't like is that they still have the original kitchen cabinets and countertop. I hate, other than that, everything else is pretty much good to go. All right. Oh, and I'm looking for commercial, residential, obviously storage units, and industrial. That's it.
Cool. All right, good. Anybody else have needs, wants? Going once, going twice, 3 times, gone. Okay, now we're gonna do a life lesson, if everybody's okay with this. We're gonna hear more about this Joe and Earl house. I'm interested to hear about it. So.
Well, I'm gonna let Earl explain the property.
And for everybody new, this is probably gonna be a really good lesson, so listen closely.
Talk to us, Earl.
Okay, so this property, I run across it. I actually am in the process of selling the property. I'm in here and I'm looking for a four bedroom or more property that's a ranch style. And so Kivo's wife is a realtor now. So she sends me this property and I'm thinking that it's move-in ready and it's anything but. I'm like, oh, this is a wholesale deal. And then my wife falls in love with it. She says, Earl, we can do this. And I'm like, well, Earl can't do it, but I have friends that know how to do it. So I'm really on the front end of this, trying to get as much information about this property as possible. Talk to the neighbor. Neighbor's been in the neighbor 2 years. Doesn't know much about the history of the property, but was basically telling me that the land itself is probably worth about 50 grand. Yeah, Joe, talk to a brother. What's going on with this
So
property?
I looked at this property. It's come across my desk actually 3 times.
Okay.
Little background. The lady who bought this place paid a contractor, and the contractor's, this place is basically 5 to 6 bedrooms. It's down to the studs. It's right around probably what, 3,000 square feet, somewhere in that area there. Okay. It's kind of a weird setup. I mean, it's got these weird elongated thin windows. It's you know, but it's on English Road there, right in front of the church over there.
That's right.
And it's a big, gigantic house. I mean, this is a monster of a house. The only problem is that she's into this property, I think, for 150,000, maybe somewhere right around there. Wow. The contractor left her high and dry. She lives in New York City. She has other properties, and she is, you know, and she's in a much high. She deals in areas that are much more zeros and more commas. And I told her, I go, listen, you're hemorrhaging money on this place. So she's doing everything she can to try getting her money back out of it. And I feel bad for her. I'm like, listen, you gotta. And I told her, because I think I was somewhere around $60,000 to $70,000, if I recall, maybe 75,000. That was pushing it, because the amount of work it's going to need. I mean, this place is literally down to the studs. There is, I mean, you have to redesign it aesthetically wise. It needs work, and it'll be the nicest, biggest house in that area there. And for me, I don't want to have the most expensive house in that area there.
Exactly. This is not an investment property. And if my wife hadn't seen it, I probably wouldn't even be talking about it.
Well, are you guys looking to move into it? What do you want to do with it? What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, originally the goal was to find a house that's moving ready. So I was going to, you know, my last kid went to the Army this year.
Yeah.
So I was looking for a ranch for a while, but you know, if we do this, we probably stay put for a year and let the contractors, you know, do what they got to do, and then move into it, you know, in 13, 14 months, whatever. But when I spoke to the real estate agent, he was kind of an ass. You know, not my agent, but the listing agent. And it sounds like they're looking for someone who wants to not rehab it at all, but just wants to knock it down, and you know, try to, you know, put something like a commercial property on it.
But what are they asking?
They're still at 99, which is the craziest thing. What investor is going to pay more than the land just to knock it down?
Now, if you want to live in it, you know, if you were to buy it for 70, and let's just say you put 100 to 100 and a half, you probably, I mean, realistically, I would probably be somewhere around 125 to 150K into that property, you know. And the problem is that square footage over there, realistically, if you go $100 a square foot out there, it's worth well over 300,000+. What I don't like about it is that it's on the main road. Okay.
Right.
And, you know, so nobody wants to be on the main road. If someone's gonna spend $350,000, you know, I mean, the garage goes right underneath the house,
Mm,
which I didn't like. Nobody wants that. You're gonna have all that noise and all the other stuff. It's, you know, if you're gonna live in it, you know, I think it'll work. Just be prepared to spend. I would figure somewhere around 150. But yeah, you're right. To buy it, if you were to buy it for $99,000, even if you bought it for $90,000, let's do the math for a flipper. Okay. If you bought it, even if you went in and you set it for 90, closing costs will put you at 95,000. You're gonna put to really make, you got 3,000 and change square foot house. Let's just say you do 150,000. That's gonna put you at 245. Holding costs out there, because that's not going to be a 30, 60, 90-day project. Holding costs going to put you another 10,000. That puts you at $255,000 minimum. Okay, figure, you know, don't make your minimums your maximums. Go to 260,000, and let's just say you find somebody who's willing to pay, I don't know, let's just say they're willing to pay $300,000 for that property. Okay, at $300,000, it won't work because you're going to pay $18,000 in commission. From 260 to 18, you're at $278,000. Then closing costs again, you'll be at 280,000, and then you'll make 20 grand. You'll pay capital gains tax because you're in New York State, you know, 20 to 32%, because they have their hands in their pockets now and there are kneecaps. So basically, you're going to net between $13,700 and $14,400. Okay.
exactly.
If you sell it for 325, 350, then you got something to play with. Typically, you want to be about 20%. Anything over 200,000, you want to make 20%. So on a $200,000 house, you want to make 40. On a $300,000 house, you want to be around $60,000. And by the way, that doesn't even include if the bank says, hey, Earl or Joe, you got to pay 3% seller's concessions or 6%. They want you to give back to help out the buyer. If that happens, you're not gonna get anything. Okay. But as an owner occupant, if you were to live there to get that property, you know, you would do okay. And besides, you know, when it comes to for something for yourself, if you love it, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter the price. If you like it, you're gonna stay there. I think as an owner occupant, you're gonna be right on the money. Realistically, if you could get that for right around 50, she's going to lose her shirt because she's been paying taxes on it.
Now, Joe, I think it's bank owned at this point.
Are you sure? So they foreclosed on it? I thought she owned it free and clear unless it got sold at the tax auction, but I thought she paid.
Okay. I'll clarify that because I'm supposed to actually go see it Saturday morning.
Yeah. Don't worry about wiping your shoes off before you walk in the house. It's down to, there's nothing in the house. There's not even one stitch of drywall.
Oh, really? Okay. So what about, let me ask you this. There's another cost I was trying to figure out. Like if the roof has had some issues, there's probably going to be some mold remediation I got to think about. Am I right?
I don't know. I mean, it's all open, so there may not be. I don't know.
Okay.
You know, that roof on that house will probably be, depending on what you got to do, 12 to 15,000, no problem.
Okay.
Okay.
Showing an LLC owns it on prop stream.
What'd you say?
It's showing an LLC 1270 English Road owns it off the prop stream. Just pulled it up.
It's got to be that woman. I can't remember her name. She's out of New York City.
I'm sure if you look up that LLC, it might have something, but yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. I spoke to her and then she kept calling me about advice and this and that. So that's how come I'm familiar with the property. Plus, Rochester's a big city, small town.
Speaking of which, totally unrelated, but how do you skip trace an LLC? Does anyone have a hack for that?
Department of State website. Go to the DOS. It tells you who the owner is and the address it's registered to. It takes 5 minutes.
What's that site again?
The Department of State, wherever they're registered and they're doing business. So if they're doing business in New York, they should be registered on the Department of State website. You just go and type in the LLC. It'll bring up and say whether they're active, legal, not legal, et cetera, in the state. they have to be registered as a foreign entity, or there's all sorts of other stuff that goes in, fines and bad stuff if they're formed out of state. So they have to be on there.
Yeah,
Thanks, Andy.
absolutely correct. Absolutely right on.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Joe. That was helpful, buddy.
I hope so. Who knows? I want to know how it goes when you go. Call me after you take a look at it. I want your opinion.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Anyone else?
It's very good and informative, I think. The info you gave on it and how you work the numbers backwards. And anybody who's new, if you weren't following that, don't worry. With time that comes. But Joe really was just working his numbers back. He kept adding numbers, and he got up to what, 200 and yeah, 268 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the key thing, Scott, is that people, and even myself, who've been doing real estate investing for what, 40 plus years, it's just amazing how fast he can go through the numbers on a project that he hasn't done in God knows how long, But, once you really get into it, that's the way that you'll be able to do it. And just to interject a little bit, this is the session, we have general meeting, we have presentations, but this is a session where people get a chance to ask their specific questions around how things work. What can I do? What is the right answer? I mean, it's a supplement, if you will, to allow people to get down to the nitty gritty. So excellent job. Thank you all very much. And before I leave, this guy, Earl McCray, he's going to be doing the November general meeting. So, we'll get a chance to ask him some more detailed questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
What's Earl going to talk about in November?
I'm going to talk about lease options. That's
All right.
the strategy I'm focused on. And, wholesaling is always going to be there, but lease options is a great way to get into the game, cash flow, without having a lot of capital tied up.
I can't wait to hear that.
Yep.
So Earl, one of the things that I would let you know is that one of the most studious and expertise presenters and has done all kinds of things in lease option happens to be none other than Mr. Scott Spear.
Well, Scott's going to look at my slides.
I'll probably learn a thing or two from you. I look forward to it for sure.
And I'm giving that input. I'm looking forward to it too. And so are the rest of us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Great.
Okay, cool. Thanks, everybody. Now we're going to the question and answer time. Does anybody have any questions? Any burning questions you want to know about? Something you have going on you'd like some help with or anything like that?
Scott, I got 2 questions.
Yep.
You know me. Okay. You're not in your RV. Where are you?
Roanoke, Virginia. Yep, we're in Roanoke, Virginia. Our son was just here visiting through the weekend, and we're at my father-in-law's house, and the house is on the market now. The market's not quite as high as it is in Rochester here in Roanoke. So that's where we're at, and probably here through the end of October. We think.
How's he doing, Scott? How's he doing?
Oh, thanks for asking. He's doing better. He had some medication issues, but we think we finally got that all balanced out right. Yeah, it's a little bit of a guessing game, but also a trial and error, I guess you could say. It's okay, let's try this, let's tweak this down and stuff. But we think we got it in line now. So,
I hope for the best. My
Thanks.
second question is, do you have or anybody have knowledge of that big Kodak conversion to storage facility on the corner of Mount Hope and Ridge Road West? Anybody have knowledge of that? It's huge. No knowledge.
Sorry, Carl, what was the address?
Mount Reed.
the corner of Mount Reed and Ridge Road West. It used to be an old Kodak warehouse building. Somebody converted that to storage facilities, and it's humongous.
Initially, you said Mount Hope, so that's the reason.
I'm sorry, Mount Reed and Ridge Road West.
Yep, yep.
So nobody has it. I'm just curious, that's an example of how you take a dead property and convert it to storage. And I just wanted to follow that story to see how they did that and just learn from that experience. So I was wondering if anybody had any information on that development.
First I heard, is there a name tied to it, or haven't you really seen it?
No, just huge banners that say self-storage, open, please come in. No name yet, but I'll find more. By the time we talk again, Scott, I'll find more information on that.
All right. I wondered if it was a national chain.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you said, it's taking a dead property and bringing it back to life, making it probably conditioned self-storage, which gets big dollars. And you're probably gonna be seeing that more and more. There's people out there that are buying office buildings and stuff that are just dead. You know, nobody's ever coming back to work in these office buildings in certain cities, and they're turning them into conditioned self-storage. It's big money, you know, to do it, but the returns are pretty good, that's for sure. So, and with steel prices the way they are, it's pretty expensive to build a facility. It's probably 40% more to 50% more than it was just a year ago to build a self-storage facility. So it's a little pricey. So buying a building like that and turning it into self-storage is fairly easy because you don't really need the steel quality of the outdoor self-storage facilities.
If it's 2400 Mount Reed, because it looks like that's at the corner of 104 and Mount Reed, it is East Rochester self-storage, and it is climate controlled. And they have a website up, and all their rates and stuff are on there. And they only have one other location on Washington Street in East Roch. So it's probably somebody local.
Awesome.
I might know who that is. I'll have to give him a call.
Buy it, Scott.
Nah, he's gonna want big money for it. So I'll have to call him and ask. So East Rochester Self-Storage. He owns a self-storage still in East Rochester, but I don't know if that's the name of it. But I'll check with him. So
I wonder how many units that is. That big.
Yeah, no kidding. It'd be like the Kodak Elm Grove, you know, turning that into some self-storage. Or Eastview Malls out there when I was back home in July. Man, there's a bunch of open, massive department stores there that are open. So, yeah. Or the Irondequoit Mall. That'd be good self-storage. Turn that into self-storage. So,
repurpose.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for questions, Carl, and thanks for the input. Appreciate that. Who else has questions or something you'd like to talk about or ask?
I want to add something, Scott, for the new people.
Yeah.
Just so that way they know. And I know you're in Roanoke, but basically Rochester in our own backyard is one of the hottest areas in the country to invest in. Right in our own backyard, people from all over the world. So for some of you, I know some of you thinking, you know, you're trying to figure out what to do. Half the battle is over in regards to you're living in a fantastic market. People have to fly here, drive here. All you have to do is go outside your front door, and there you are. So there are huge opportunities here. And even in this crazy market, they're finding deals. Yes, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. At the same time, they're out there, you know. So just understand, you know, especially for the new people, you know, staying connected, and like within this group, people start, you know, because I mean, if you're active and you're out there really trying to find stuff, this is a great group because you'll be able to get, you'll find out about properties before other people will. And, the seasoned investors here, they'll know, when we got something, we just pick up a phone, and a lot of you, especially, like I know it was Benny, he was over there trying to figure out where to start. This is a great place to start. You just got to figure out which part of real estate you want to get into, and then there's some people who want to be an active investor, some people want to be passive investor, want to do passive investing. And, I've talked to a lot of the people, because we all get phone calls and I ask them, I go, well, what do you want to do? Well, I want to do wholesaling. I want to do this. I want to do that. And then, I want to make sure that they know if you're an active investor, which is fantastic. The difference between an active investor and a passive investor, active investor, if you stop working, the money stops. Passive investing, like Scott Spear, who drives all over the country in a mansion on wheels. Okay, because that's what it is, literally a mansion on wheels.
No, it's just a nice home.
He's, passively for him, and he's got, what are you up to, 8 storage facilities now?
Mm-hmm.
8. So I don't feel sorry for him, but well, especially says if it's raining down there or something like that, but he gets to travel all over the country. And so what you got to think about is what part of real estate do you want to be in? And yes, in the beginning, you have to be very active and you really got to put forth the time and the effort. At the same time, you'll be able to figure out which part of real estate you want to get into. Now, for me and a lot of us on here, we had to be active, and Scott was active for a while and did it while working a job. And then they transitioned out of his job and then went into doing his lease options and everything else. He was renting first, so he was active. Scott was over there managing. Scott, you were getting the phone calls, weren't you? Hey, this broke, that broke, got to collect rent. I can't pay rent. So he was active. He had to be out there. If he wasn't collecting the rent, a lot of times, not everybody wants to mail in the rent. And then he transitioned into lease options, which kind of started transitioning into passive investing. So that way he didn't have to worry about doing some of the fix ups, but he still had to maintain and be there. And now Scott is, he's more passive of an investor. So whether he's driving his mansion on wheels, wherever state he's going to be going to, because I know he's going to be spending Christmas. I think you said in California, or he's going to be spending there. I'm going to mail you a snowball.
Thanks.
So, but the thing is that just understand he was able to do that. Now, yes, he still manages what's going on. At the same time, his life is not as crazy as it was when he was an active investor. Okay. So start to understand where you want to be. And yes, your life is going to get off balance because Scott's life, I'm sure your life was crazy when you were starting to transition out, and then picking up properties,
Yeah, for sure. Pretty active, some pretty long days and weekends and all that. Yeah, it's just, building for the future so that, you can relax. Joe might learn how to relax someday. I keep talking to him about that.
I got to look up the word.
But it's like Carl Weeks. Carl Weeks built a nice business and now he's running up and down into Florida all the time.
So it's a lot of hard work at the beginning, but once you establish your mojo and your long-term goals, you'll get there and things, happen, especially if you love what you do. Joe, he loves what he does. That's why he's so crazy. Scott used to love what he does, so he transitioned into, I'm going to do this differently and still make the same money and more. So it's great stuff.
But that's saying it's like a jet plane taking off. It's the best example. When a jet plane's taking off, it takes so much power and so much thrust to get that jet plane going and up in the air up to cruise altitude. And then once you get into cruise altitude, they back off the throttles a lot. And that's what it is. It's momentum. You just have to keep that momentum going. It's hard. Trust me. I know it's hard to keep that momentum going. Sometimes I struggle with it still. And once you get the momentum going and everything's going, then things just kind of seem to happen. You know, it's kind of it's a good feeling, but you're gonna have to put in the work. You can't. There's no way to shortcut this. I don't think. Like people keep saying, "I want to shortcut it. I want to shortcut it." I'm like, well, if you forgot how to shortcut it, you let me know because I haven't found anybody who shortcutted it yet.
Yeah. Gamble in the stocks. That's how you shortcut it and it might get burned. But Earl, you're going through this right now, right? You're going through this plane acceleration. You're on the right path, buddy.
Yeah, you know, my biggest regret was I took my foot off the gas in Rochester and was doing some virtual wholesaling in Atlanta. And you know, did a couple deals, but then got some deals, got some deals taken from me. And that hurt. That didn't feel good. It didn't feel good at all. When I could have just stayed right here in Rochester. So to Joe's point, I mean, this is we are in a very amazing market. So I'm excited.
You're learning a very important lesson. Geographically located right in your backyard. There's plenty of deals here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's no reason to go crazy out there. And what you found out, right? Stay in your backyard. Batavia, if you're still on, there's plenty of deals in your backyard. No reason to go to Rochester. There's plenty of deals there. It's always going to be there. So stay close to home, make it work, develop your system, and you'll be successful.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Colleen's got a guy flying in from Texas this week. So he's buying properties here. 1,200 miles away, they're coming here in our own backyard. So half the battle is over. So for people who can't, you know, there's a lot of people that are like, well, you know, I can't afford to fly to another city. You don't have to. Just walk outside your front door. You're there.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
By the way, don't be afraid for people to interject if you have any questions, if you have anything you want to go over, especially some of the new people. You know, get your questions asked because this is a really great place to get them answered. We'll do the best we can to get them answered for you.
Hey, Joe, I got a question just because we're rolling. So I know I told you about this fire damaged house I was looking at on J Street. So yeah. So
I remember that house.
Yeah, she wanted me to buy it for like 30 grand.
Yeah,
30 grand.
Yeah, sure.
And you know, so initially, you know, I told her that she was actually gonna, you know, she's losing money because no investor is gonna, you know, give her 30 grand and then have to, you know, do the rehab, and the ARV is 50 grand.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to, you know, make sure, from my understanding of fire damage property, if the owner doesn't do any work, what consequences do they have from the city?
A couple things there. So,
Wait,
by the way, there's a little.
Joe, can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead. It's all yours.
I've been down this road it's a huge liability, big time. Okay, it's like a hot potato. I've been through these many times. You got a fire damage and you're underwater, get rid of it ASAP, fast as you can. Don't play with prices and this and that. Get rid of it. Here's what happens. So the city will eventually deem the property as a public nuisance. And when they do that, they will then move on to a demolition hearing, code enforcement violation fines. They will push you into, you know, this is a bad property, and eventually they'll be able to take it. Well, there's a process to that, and you're going to go to court. They're going to demo it. You're going to be responsible for the demo. You get this huge liability. Get rid of it. The owners should get rid of it ASAP. If they got paid by insurance money, quit dicking around with.
He had no insurance.
No
Profit.
insurance.
Oh, no
Yep.
insurance.
No insurance, Carl.
Oh, she's screwed. I'm sorry, she's screwed.
Yeah, she's
So,
screwed.
yeah. I'm a conversation right now. She's screwed.
There's a backstory to this property too, by the way. So just so that everybody knows, this property that Earl is looking at, she wants 30, okay? It was a 2-family. Prior to the fire, I offered her $25,000 cash to buy this property with people. And I think one of them, they weren't paying her. It was a big divorce of the ex-husband. They finally was able to sell it. I said, listen, it's J Street. I'll buy it, $25,000 cash. No. A few weeks later, the place catches on fire, right? So now she wants $30,000. Now it's going to cost, now the whole second floor is done.
Okay, hold on. What block is this of J?
I can't.
This is across from the charter school. It's not a bad block.
A block, 600, 700, 500.
What's the address, Earl?
Hang on.
You said the charter school, that's Ames Street area.
Yeah,
Ames, right?
It's
Okay.
going to
Here-
cost like
there-
80 grand.
It's not where, here's my recommendation. Offer $1. $1 to buy the property. The offer is good forever. Call me when you're ready. Don't waste your time with this crap.
No, I offered $100.
Property.
Okay, I'm sorry. You offered more than I did. Okay.
No, I offered $100.
No, look, it's not. Look, it's going to cost you 80 grand to build a $50,000 to $60,000 property.
It's move on to the next one.
Next
Joe,
deal.
you remember my story with my fire job? Remember that?
Yes.
I gave the buyer, and we're heading to the closing table, right? $1, Earl, $1, take it, and I'm going to give you $5,000 at closing. Get rid of the liability. This guy, you thought it was some kind of scheme. No, it's not. It's for real. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. I got lucky, and so it was awesome. So that's a liability you don't want. Move on to the next deal.
Move on.
Seriously.
Okay. Got another question. So I made an offer, seller finance. I'm not sure if anybody's looked at this property, but you can pull it up. It's 5 Appleton Street, right off of West Avenue. Owner wants $500,000. 4-bedroom. I guess it was an old mansion at some point. So I sent them a lease offer, a lease option offer. They refused it. And then I offered to pay the notes if they would hold a note for 6 years. Full price, full asking price.
$500,000 on Appleton Street. Is there gold, diamonds, oil?
I know, right? It's
In
ridiculous.
the basement? What? There has to be. There has to be an oil well down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Now-
what number Appleton again?
5 Appleton.
Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, so they sent me a response to my offer saying that my offer was well below what they were anticipating. However, they would keep my information. I said, well, hey, that's
I don't think they're
Oh,
serious.
no.
15 a day. 15 a day keeps the doctor away.
I mean,
Or 3 a day. I think that's my goal. 3 offers a day.
wait, this is not a single family house. This is a multi-unit.
Yes, it is. It's 4. I should have backtracked. So this is 4 units.
Yes, I know this property. The guy rehabbed this whole entire place. He brought it down to 4 units. Okay. All right. How many bedrooms in each unit, Earl?
Let me pull that up again. I think.
I mean, first of all, $500,000 for 4 units over there to me is too much. $125,000 a unit.
Somebody's in the pipe dream. I forget that whole thing. By the way, backstory. I used to manage that one about 28 years ago. So I'm familiar with the property. It went through foreclosure, board up. Where are we now? Because it was boarded up recently. Somebody bought it, and what happened?
So somebody from New York City bought it.
There you go.
And I think over rehabbed it, and now they're trying to get their money out.
Yeah. I almost bought that property when about 1.5 or 2 years ago. I went in there. Oh, they wanted too much money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
no.
too much, $125,000 a unit over there in that area there. It's
So-
not Park Avenue.
Yeah. So Earl, here's
Well,
the thing.
You know, originally when I made the offer, my head was, this might be a perfect spot to roll with the Airbnb model. Because, you know, it's just what, 2 minutes from 2 minutes from Wegmans, 2 minutes from the airport, 5-10 minutes from the ball game. So that's really what I was thinking about.
Can I comment on that, Earl, if you don't mind?
Absolutely.
If you have a 4-family unit and they're 2 bedrooms each, you're going to proceed as market rent for 2 bedrooms each. That's it. That's what you're going to bank on and deal with in terms of evaluating your purchase. You're not going to evaluate your purchase based upon your expectation of Airbnb. That's a plus. That is something that's gravy above and beyond that down here. That you can't assess the situation based upon your expectation of Airbnb. It's got to be what its legal use is now. 2 bedrooms each, market rent. Base it upon that. If you get Airbnb, that's your gravy.
Right.
But you don't go in analyzing that as I can get Airbnb and that justifies my price. Do not do that.
I agree with you, Carl, 100%, because that means Earl's making his maximums, his minimum. You can't do that.
Right.
What's market rent over there, Carl? 750, 8?
These are 2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it depends upon the amenities, but yeah, 750 range.
Yeah, so 750 or $3,000 a month, $36,000 a year. Figure 50% for expenses. You're making $18,000 NOI. So someone divide 18,000 by 500K, and you'll get a.
So these guys are from New York City. They're thinking New York City mindset prices. They're thinking about what's this going to take and give me in New York City. That's how they're thinking. Bull crap. We know the real deal here. You provide your offer and say, here's my offer. It's good for 60 days. See ya. Move on. Don't babysit an offer. Move on.
Right.
Do your calculations, and here's my deal. That's it. 60 days. Let me know. Move on.
And
Okay.
Carl,
Appreciate it, Carl.
the cap rate if it makes $36,000 a year, 50% for expenses, the cap rate is 3.6%.
Yeah. So
no way.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I just to interject a bit.
You can still get 12% in Rochester if you play your cards right. Most of the country, 6 to 7% is acceptable. You're at half of like Raleigh, North Carolina. Like, no bueno, man.
You're getting 6.
So it's one of those things. It's one of those things where, I mean, these guys are hitting it right on the head of the nail. It's all in the numbers, and I agree with Joe completely, where you don't make the minimum and the maximum. You just can't do that. You are setting yourself up for a possible large loss. So just go through the numbers, let the number drive the decision. And all the folks who know me know that I'm a scientifically based person, and I just let the numbers sort of do the talking. Clearly, you got to have a good understanding of the condition of property and all those sorts of things. I completely 100% agree.
Yeah. And by the way, sorry if I talk so fast, and we're not trying to confuse people. We're just doing some quick calculations, and you will learn them. I promise you.
So we'll close this thread, but Earl, you've done a walkthrough through the property and it's turnkey ready.
Actually, I have not done a walkthrough. No, I connected with another individual who had done a walkthrough, and the property came up. This person told me at the time, this may have been about 6 months ago, there was some cosmetic work that needed to be done. So I made my offer, kind of sight unseen.
Yeah.
You gave them an offer already?
Of course I did. Yeah.
Would you like to share that?
Oh yeah. I'll share the offer.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the offer, I'll actually I'll pull it, the actual offer I sent out. And
Now it's based upon true rents, not Airbnb. Please tell me that, right? Okay.
so it was based upon a lease option model and a seller finance model where I would offer them a percentage of their asking price if they agreed to hold a note. And hang on. The last name is African. Hang on, there it is. So I don't know if I can screen share, but
You just tell us because we're running a few minutes over here. So
okay, so yeah, so my all cash offer was 190. My lease option offer was 216,000. I would give them a option deposit of $2,000 up front, and I would give them 70% of the rents. And then and this would be for 5 years. And then my owner finance numbers was 360 grand, down payment of 25 grand until I paid it off.
Very, very rich numbers, but
yeah.
you know, if you did the right calculate, you know, my experience says that that's way off. But if you did numbers that I'm not privy to, then good luck with that. But those are crazy numbers. By the way, have you seen the assessed value?
Yeah, I mean, the assessed value, no, the answer is no, I don't. I have not seen the assessed value.
Well, there's two figures to really hone in on, because that's what the seller is going to hone in on, the assessed value. The assessed value for this is 35. I'm sorry. The assessed value is 46. The guy bought the thing in 2015 for 35 grand. There's your starting point.
That's props. Yeah, I did see that number in prop stream. Yeah.
Right. So you're slapping around 70 to 80 grand. He's going to be, well, we don't know what he put into the whole thing. Like you said, we don't know that figure. You try to find out that figure, add that into what he bought it for, and work that number in that area right there. Don't go way up there. Get what he wants to get out for, which is what he paid and what he invested. There's your starting point.
Gotcha.
And by the way, everybody, and not to cut anybody off, but I know it's 8:30, so I want to be respectful here. We're going to hang out for a few minutes longer. So I know we cut off about 8:30ish. So if some people, they have to go, you're more welcome to go, or if you want to stay, we'll hang out for a few more minutes. Okay. So for those you have to go, we appreciate you guys being on here tonight very, very much. Thank you so much. You out, Carl?
I'll stick around. I'll stick around because I'm pretty mouthy tonight.
I'll stick around too, about 10 more minutes maybe. And, yeah. So Earl, when you were talking, I have a question. We heard, I think it was from your background, pots and pans in the background. Was that your wife packing the boxes, getting ready to move, or what?
Actually, she was making some dinner for a foreign exchange student from China.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah. But no, she's interested in rehabbing this property. I'm like, wow, okay.
Rehab which property?
Huh?
Appleton or English?
English.
Oh, well, tomorrow when you go there, take a look at it.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely give you my assessment of it.
What was the address on that one again?
Sure. The address on that is
1270 or something. I can't remember.
You're good, man. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Joe pulls numbers out like I can't believe.
Yeah, I'm looking at, no, listen, I'm literally looking at my spreadsheet trying to find it. And I would die.
1270.
I would die if I didn't have spreadsheets.
Yeah, it won't show me the picture of the house. I'm trying to see actually, because what I want to do right now is I want to see, because I may still have the pictures of the property. I want to send them to you. And here it is, 1270 English Road. I went to it July 6th of 2020.
Get out of here.
Yep. So what's your email address, Earl?
Yep, you can put it at earl4mccray@gmail.com.
Got it. I just sent you the pictures. The power of networking, people.
Yeah, man. That's powerful.
There it is. Oh, man.
I'm gonna call out, hey, Benny or Celeste, either of you have any questions or anything you'd like to add? We like having new people on the group. We like to hear from new people. Go ahead, Benny.
But yeah, no, just listen, here to listen and follow along. So, when you're reading books and watching YouTube videos, you don't really see this, which is the real side. So like, this really feels like, it's like, all right, you're seeing a real world something live. So yeah, really getting a lot out of this.
Hey, Benny, if I could tell you, the one thing that I wouldn't do is, this is really my first full year of being all in, but I spent 3 years trying to learn everything.
Mhm.
And it sucked
Wow.
because I didn't learn anything. I didn't actually start learning until I started going out and making offers and making a bunch of mistakes and having these guys here tell me, dude, that was stupid or whatever. But at least when you're actually in momentum, then that's when it's going to feel like you're actually learning something.
Yeah. And that's kind of why I'm here.
Something from Little Batavia here is one thing I do see with the groups is helping each other. And after all, aren't we helping these people with their problems, with their problem properties? And that's, I think I've learned a big thing is that they're looking for us actually, but we're kind of undercover wholesalers and right, but we're actually out there to help these people, and if you keep that in mind, I think it helps a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Michael. When you go into it with that heart, you're right. We laugh and joke about, people who should sell a house for $1. And honestly, we're doing them a favor. Like Carl said, that one lady, she got her insurance money, sell the property for $1 and just, walk away, take it off your mind, take it off your plate. So, and that's what we're doing for a lot of people. We're really helping a lot of people out there. So, good point, Michael.
Joe, I just got the pictures. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome. Big city, small world.
Yeah, man.
Don't worry, one of these days, you'll send me pictures of a house that I'll need pictures from, that you'll get to.
Hey, that's the goal, man. That's the goal, to be a servant.
All right.
Oh,
Anybody-
Scott,
Yeah, go ahead.
Could you drop your email and your phone number in the chat for me before you get out of here?
Yep.
'Cause I want to send you my slides.
Okay, cool.
Just dial 1-800-MONEY. It'll take you right to Scott.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. A little plug. Beth and I will be here next Thursday night for our next housing provider support meeting. We're gonna have a lot of cool stuff and a special guest speaker. That's FFREIA's next support group next Thursday night, 7 o'clock.
Right on Zoom, right?
Yep.
Yep. So everybody can join that too. It's another good networking event. Carl and Michelle It's Michelle or Beth, I'm sorry.
Beth
Beth.
Gallagher, yeah. Yeah.
Carl and Beth teach a lot about landlording and property management and the right way to do things. So if you're thinking about getting into that or just want to network with some more people, join in on that thing next Thursday night, 7 o'clock on Zoom from the FFREIA website.
Right. And so Scott, I know you're not into the drama here, but as New York State, you know, we have the moratorium, we have the Tenant Protection Act, we have the housing court. You know, I hate you because you got out and I should have got out. Thank you very much, Scott. You taught me a lesson.
I think I told you, Carl, but that's okay.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, no.
I just got lucky.
You tell me, buddy.
Yeah, I just got lucky. That's all.
So we're gonna cover all that kind of stuff that affects us on a daily basis in terms of, you know, what's facing us in terms of regulation and you know, the things that are like almost changing every day. So
Carl, the moratorium is ending or it is not ending?
it's been extended to January 15th, 2022. Hello. And with that came a lot of additional hoops to jump through in order to continue the eviction process. We'll cover that next week.
And just so that everybody knows, Carl has managed thousands upon thousands upon thousands of units. He's not, I used to call him the encyclopedia of when it comes to real estate and being a landlord. Encyclopedia is out. If you look at his head right now, it's actually the internet, because he's got so much knowledge in that head when it comes to landlording. It's ridiculous. I'll put him up against anybody out there. He's just unbelievable.
Well,
so if you want to know about landlording, get on that call next Thursday.
That's right. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. But since the 2019, we kind of had to start over again a little bit. So I appreciate that, Joe, but we're on top of it, but we'll get that message out there with what's going on.
I will say that I know of 2 lawsuits right now that are pending from 2 different law firms, one in Buffalo and one here in Rochester, that are looking to sue the state to stop the extended eviction moratorium. So there are suits getting hit within the next 2 weeks. You'll actually see them get filed in court.
Yeah, without a doubt, there are cases moving forward, and yeah, look forward to that. Yep.
Great. I forgot, I wanted to add a special thanks to Leon, good, he's still on here. Leon, Joe McGuire, Susan Holman, and Andy McQuaid. They're the ones who really keep this thing going. They're like the behind the scenes people who really keep things going, and I really appreciate them doing that. The picnic was a huge success because of all those people. The holiday party is a huge success. So that's why FFREIA continues to go and grow. And it's what they put into place here for us to learn from each other, network and help each other. You know, that's what they drive all the time. And, you know, I really want to say thank you to Leon, Joe, Susan, and Andy for everything you guys do.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Let me just interject with this section here. Absolutely. Thank you. The key thing is there are about 6 people that have the title of subgroup leaders. And, you know, we have 2 of the subgroup leaders on here tonight. Well, Carl will be the 3rd one if you go beyond this particular session and move into the housing provider arena. But it's not possible to be done without those 6 folks. And they drive the meetings of this sort. And I may or may not have went through in the very beginning. We'll put on things like the general meeting. We may do a summit. We may do a special presentation. We may do some workshops. But where you really get the value is when you come to these sessions and you're open and you talk about the issues that you have and you get the input that you need from a very specific basis that allows you to be a successful real estate investor. That comes from folks like Carl, like Joe, and like Scott, who have 10 years, 20 years plus of time investing in real estate, and they can then provide that input to you as you ask them very specific questions. And for the people who are somewhat quiet, I'll just say you are shortchanging yourself from the perspective that you can get a lot more information that's going to help you to be successful as a real estate investor. As none of this is possible without those group leaders and the housing provider and the alternative real estate investing strategy arena. So thank you for all the things you do and all the things that allow us to be successful. And I just wish that more members would take advantage of all the knowledge that you have built up over all the years.
We appreciate everything you're doing, Leon. You and the whole group. Holy smokes! So I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for this group. I wouldn't be living the lifestyle I'm able to live because of this group. That's why.
Yep.
We appreciate it.
All right, everybody. I'm going to sign off. Have a good
Yeah.
night.
All
See
right.
you all again soon.
Listen,
all done.
it's not even 6 o'clock yet on the West Coast. Call some people who own properties in Rochester on the West Coast. Don't be lazy.
All
Do
right.
real estate, people.
There
Yes,
ain't
sir.
deals over there. There's no deals over there, Joe. Stick
They
over here.
live there who own here. It's not even 6 o'clock there. The sun
Oh.
is still up over there. Are you kidding me?
And
It's
it's not even,
5:47.
Oh,
there you
that's
go.
funny.
Go get them.
That's funny. Go for it.
Mhm.
See y'all.
Have
See
a
ya,
great
everybody.
night, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good one.